All right, guys, let's talk about this. Welcome back. Welcome back. Reggie versus Salas coming to you with a brand new New York Giants video in 2022. That's crazy. I've been away for a long time, well over a year. Last week, I was in Jamaica with some lovely New York Giants fans, by the way. There was a couple of us Giants fans. It was crazy. The Jamaicans did not have the NFL games, for, of course, from North America on their TVs, but they did give us like a free app that we could download and watch the game. So we were watching it from our kind of mobile phones. It was me and two other Giants fans. Really good look. Shout out to those guys that I think they live in North Carolina. If you guys can, find the channel, I definitely enjoyed celebrating the game with you guys as we got our first win last week. But I'm here to talk to you guys about this week's game, which we narrowly escaped. We snuck a victory out over the Carolina Panthers. Giants go to 2-0 for the first time in God knows how long. Let's talk about it. So, let's get into these stats. Let's get into the pros, the cons. I'm just happy to be able to celebrate another Victory Monday, as Bad Dog and Entertainer would say, and Fist Vegas and all those lovely, lovely Giants creators on the YouTube channel. And I wanted to kind of bring it back as we got some good motivation going forward with the new coach, Brian DeBall. And Joe Shane is our GM. It's a new year, new season, and we're getting victories, guys. We're getting victories. We're not even healthy. We're not healthy at receiver. We've got practice squad guys stepping up. Richie James, David Sills, 5. It's crazy, man. We're doing it unhealthy. They got Leonard Williams playing the outside when he's supposed to be interior defensive lineman. Both of our stud defensive linemen are still on IR, waiting for them to be able to come back. That's Azeez Ojulari and, of course, Big Dog, Kayvon Thibodeau. So when we get those guys back sort of around maybe week 4, week 5, if we can be able to get these victories and pull these narrow victories together, we're going to be in good shape. So let's talk about that. Carolina Panthers, New York Giants, week 2. Let's get into these stats. All right, guys, real quick. So over here we're looking at, and what we're seeing here is it was a close game throughout. Honestly, the first half was forgettable. I'm going to be honest with you. The first half was so forgettable in this game when it came down to the Carolina Panthers and New York Giants. It was basically a battle of defenses making plays. It really didn't open up until the second half. And we kind of experienced that last week. Where it was really tough. Coach Dayball and Wink Markindale, they made halftime adjustments, and it looked like it was going to be the similar circumstances this week. Now, we didn't see the breakout from Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley like it was pregame to be, where it was supposed to be a battle of these two stud running backs, the two most closest running backs as far as comparable in skill in the NFL. Like, these two are very similar, different stature-wise. Saquon has about 30 pounds on Christian McCaffrey, but as far as skill-wise, they're very similar. They can run the ball up the middle, and they can also have the breakout speed on the outside edge to be able to make a 70, 80-yard play. You didn't really see too many of those in this game, but the role players stepped up big. Richie James, like I mentioned, David Sills. Hell, O'Shane Ximines made key play after key play in this game. You want to give him big props because looked like he was a letdown under the Gettleman regime with Joe Judge, and it looks like in backup role, Brian Dayball, Coach Dayball, has him making plays. He was a standout player for me in this game. O'Shane Ximines, you just saw, even if you don't know his name, casual fans that may find the channel, you saw a number of 53 popping up on big play after big play. And with us being decimated early on by injury, that is huge to say a defensive player who has been kind of bewildered in the NFL on the New York Giants making stud plays when we really have fringe talent at best on this team. This team is miraculous to be 2-0, and we all know that. We could have been 0-2 easily, beating a playoff team last week in Tennessee. Everyone wants to underrate Tennessee now. They were the #1 seed last year with a healthy Derrick Henry. Yes, he's coming back off injury, but the same thing with Saquon. We were supposed to be stomped by Tennessee, and everyone knows that. Philadelphia fans, Dallas fans, they want to downplay what the Giants did last week and also this week too, because of course they only want their team to be good. I like realistic fans in those fan bases. There are a few in Philly and there are a few in Dallas, but it's too far in between. Be realistic. The Giants are crazy for being 2-0 right now. It's no way possible it's supposed to be, but it is. Also, Baker Mayfield underperformed. Like, you had wide open plays by Robbie Anderson, and Baker Mayfield couldn't make those plays. Remember, our two stud outside linebacker, rushing outside linebackers are injured. There was basically no pass rush. And Baker Mayfield still couldn't make the play. He still couldn't read the play to be able to beat the Giants. When we also don't have James Bradbury. We have Adoree Jackson, who is a second-tier corner at best. He should not be the lead corner on any team. And yet you can't exploit matches. And then you also have scrub slot play by the New York Giants. And you still couldn't beat that. That shows how ineffective a quarterback Baker Mayfield is. It is what it is, including Sam Darnold and all those guys they have in Carolina. It's basically the same guy. Just the guy. They're Jags. And that's what it is. That's being honest. And Daniel Jones is not far off from that. You know, his favorite team is Carolina. He lives Carolina in the offseason, and you can tell. He wasn't making the plays, but he made the play to seal the game at the end, making that scramble so we could run out the clock and they could burn their final timeout. It was game management plays at best for the New York Giants, but we were able to sneak out a victory 19-16 over Carolina, our first win at home in MetLife. So let's get to the stats real quick, guys. Like you said, you see here, basically teams traded field goals. They traded field goals out in the first half. It really wasn't an eventful, but the second half is when the magic started to happen. We ended up edging them out by a field goal. In the fourth quarter, we scored 6 points. They only scored 3. Both teams scored touchdowns in the third and eventful quarter. That's coming out of halftime. Like I said, both teams made good adjustments, and that was a good thing to be able to see. Daniel Jones, to me, I'm going to be honest, I'm the same guy like I was mentioning last year, just a year wiser and a year smarter. I still don't want Daniel Jones throwing 34 times. It's just unfortunate. I feel he should be 29 passes and under because he's not good at throwing the football at any level, to be honest with you. He was like a 2 or 3 star at Duke, and you know, he didn't make the interception or the fumble this game, so that was good. He's a game manager at best, but he didn't make the mistakes this game, which was good. He took a couple of sacks. Who's that guy? Brian Burns from Florida State. Go Noles. Of course, that's my alma mater. He made some great plays. He was beating Andrew Thomas like a drum in a barrel. It was crazy. He so fast with the dip. He has a good dip swing move. That was awesome. So shout out to Carolina and Brian Burns for making those plays on our top tackle prospect, Andrew Thomas. We've seen that repeatedly, especially in the second half. Brian Burns was getting his man. Daniel Jones was getting sacked. But the unsung heroes was making plays. Richie James, David Sills. It was incredible that these guys were making plays when it was tight coverage in the secondary, which was great. Daniel Jones, once again, 22 for 34, 176 yards and 1 touchdown. That was a good play getting that touchdown, by the way. Saquon Barkley, 21 carries. I do like that they did at least try to run the ball. We know Derrick Brown and those boys up there in Carolina's defensive line is nothing to play with. Big Tank was making plays, making it hard for Saquon to be able to get his runs. We did the same thing with Leonard Williams and the few other plays that we had as far as Christian McCaffrey getting those same runs. So it was a battle of defensive wills, a pretty boring game in the first half. But hey, Saquon Barkley did get 21 carries, so that's good because remember under Joe Judge, it was like 10 and under, which was terrible and unacceptable. So he got 72 yards, no touchdowns. Daniel Jones ran for 10 for 21. And of course, Matt Breida got the -4. I would like to see actually Matt Breida get a few more touches once we can get control of games. Just putting out there because I do like him over the upgrade at versus running back that we had last season. I hated that guy last season. I've seen Matt Breida make some good plays during his time in San Francisco, so I like that backup that we have as far as in the running game. And of course, we got to save Saquon Barkley so he stays healthy throughout 17 games in the season. That's critical. That's why I want Breida to have 5. If Breida can have 4 to 5 touches and save Saquon in some situations, I would prefer that. Because if Breida gets injured, who cares? But if Saquon gets injured, our season is fucked. We need Saquon to be healthy, and I need Breida to get more touches. That's just how I'm putting it. It's game management situations early on. We got to start thinking about that. Because now we have a favorable schedule with Dak going down. We play the Cowboys coming up. You know, just putting that out there as far as managing your players and the limited talent that we do have as New York Giants fans. All right, receiving. Hey, like I said, Richie James, a practice squad player at best. 5 catches, 51 yards, 10.2 average. That's a key thing most Giants fans are going to look at. I need you guys to look at that. 10.2 average on his catches. That's great for a practice squad player. You know, you would want Kenny Galladay to get those numbers. What's going on there? We paid $72 million for a 6'4" scrub, and that's the truth. That's the truth. I'm not going to, squawk, but it looks like another line receiver. First it was Golden Tate, now it's Kenny Galladay who fleeced the Giants in free agency. That's how I was looking. David Sills, Sterling Shepard, good stuff. Not too much from Galladay. Like I said, I would love to trade him. He's a terrible receiver, and he clearly was a byproduct of Matt Stafford, and that's the truth. But look, because those stats should be going to Kenny Galladay, but Kenny Galladay's pretty average and below average. He went to a below average college. He has below average talent, and with this team, he's supposed to be a 8-9 catch receiver. You don't pay $72 million for someone like that, and he's giving you 1 or 2 catches a game. It makes no sense, especially when you have practice squad players that are able to produce. And Kenny Galladay, 4 years, $72 million, can't produce. He can't get separation. He's a byproduct of Matthew Stafford, and that's the truth. And we know Daniel Jones is not Matthew Stafford and will never be. That's the truth. All right. But the key receivers, Richie James, David Stills, Sterling Shepard, love them. They're overproducing because these are practice squad players minus Sterling Shepard. It's no way they should be making the plays that they're doing. Props to them for stepping up when people are down. All right, defense. Julian Love making plays 7. He got a big sack too. He got a big, huge sack on Baker Mayfield. Shout out to Julian Love. Our new safety, first game being in there, Dane Belton. Shout out to him making some plays. I did love to see that. Shane Jimenez, like I said, man, he's only credited with 2 tackles, but he was everywhere. He's the MVP of the game, along with Graham Gano, another Florida State guy on our team. But Shane Jimenez, Graham Gano, those are my 2 MVPs for this game. And I guess you could say Daniel Jones for not making the costly turnover. You've got to be... I just wish he would play up and give me a 300-yard game. You're the 6th pick. I understand you were supposed to be picked in the 5th round because you're a bum, but man, can you give us 300 yards, please? Anyway, other than that, Adoree Jackson, pretty trash. It was basic stuff. Of course, the kicker, Graham Gano, was a stud, a super stud. And that's what that is right there too, man. But let's check out some little bit of highlights real quick before we go, man. Like I said, this game here, it really started to pick up. This game really started to pick up in the 3rd quarter, guys. It really picked up in the 3rd quarter. This was a minimal game at best. It was a clash of the defensive wills, and I'm just happy that the Giants were able to make some plays, right? make some plays. You know, DJ Moore is a beast. We already knew that. He's from University of Maryland product. That's where I'm based out of. We knew that. They got two good receivers in Moore and Anderson. I think Baker Mayfield left some plays on the field. What do you guys think about that? Leave that in the chat below. I think he made some plays. You know, he left some plays on the field, and he should have been able to beat. He should have been able to beat the New York Giants. That's just my take. I don't know what you guys think about that. I think he should have been able to kind of beat the New York Giants in that. Unfortunately, he didn't. It is what it is. We were able to sneak out the victory, sealing it at the end. You know, and the Giants go to 2-0, which is great. We got the Cowboys coming up next. I'm hoping for a victory there. And crazy thing is the Giants may be able to start 3-0, which is kind of amazing. Kind of amazing to think about it, as we can possibly go into something getting 3-0, which is great. But we sealed up the victory 2-0. Coach Daboll has the Giants gluing together, and hopefully with like the little bit of Odell talk, maybe later on, third, fourth quarter of the season, we may be able to get Odell on a team-friendly deal. We can really use that help, because you're not getting it from Kadarius Toney right now. You're not getting it from Wandale, who's injured, right? You got studs like Sterling Shepard, and it can go right along with how Dave Gettleman messed that up and getting in Odell Beckham for the later half of the season once he's done rehabilitating his ACL that he tore in the Super Bowl. So let me know what you guys think. The Giants go 2-0. Giants go 2-0, guys. We're super happy about that. I'm super ecstatic. I'm not too much complaining. I do want to save Saquon a little bit like that. We've seen it over the past 2 seasons where he got injured and it derailed us. He's by far our best player, and we're working on fringe talent at best. I'm hoping that Azeez and Kayvon can be able to come in, stay healthy, and make plays for us as our defense improves. I think our secondary really was helped out by Dane Belton coming in, and of course the MVP, the defensive MVP of the game, Oshane Jimenez, playing out of his mind. I would have never thought a player coming out of Old Dominion would be able to make those plays in year 3, year 4 on the New York Giants, but he did. Credit to him. Credit to Graham Gano for making those kicks, and the Giants go to 2-0. I can't be more happy. I'm happier than that. Let's go Giants. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'll check you guys next week. Take care.